Picture this. Two men walk into the same meeting. Same resume, same experience, same seat at the table. One of them talks, and the room keeps typing, keeps scrolling, keeps waiting for him to finish so real conversation can resume. The other one talks, and the room goes quiet. Not because he's louder, not because he's funny, just quiet. Think about that for a second. I used to be the first guy, the one nobody interrupted because interrupting me cost nothing. I said yes to everything. I laughed at jokes that weren't funny. I agreed before I even had an opinion. And I told myself that was being nice. It was not being nice. It was being invisible with extra steps. Here is what nobody tells you. Respect is not volume. It is not aggression. It is not even agreeableness dressed up as kindness. Those are three different masks for the same fear, the fear of being dismissed. Most people think being loud earns the room. Being agreeable earns the room. They are wrong. Both get overlooked. Really think about it. Just on different timelines. What actually earns the room is something quieter and stranger and far more learnable than either of those. 7 shifts. None of them rude. All of them backed by real psychology. Stay until habit 6. That one is different. That is the one that makes people apologize to you before you even say a word. Number 1. Not less. Think of it like a held note in music. The silence right before the drop is not weakness. It is tension the room leans into. Most people rush to fill silence because it feels safe. Socially intelligent people let silence sit because it feels powerful. And the difference in how they're perceived is not small. It is everything. Try this right now. Next time someone asks you something loaded, count to 2 in your head before responding. That is it. 2 seconds. But here is the thing nobody asks. What does your body do while you're staying silent? Number 2. The posture nobody notices they're copying. Have you ever noticed how some people sit in a chair like they're trying to disappear into it? Elbows tucked in, shoulders curled forward, legs crossed twice like they're folding themselves smaller to fit some invisible box. And then someone else sits down in the exact same chair and just takes up the space that's actually theirs. Not sprawled out, not performing, just there. That second person isn't puffing up. That's the part people get wrong. Most people apologize with their body before they even speak. Shrinking is a full sentence, and the room reads it instantly, long before a single word comes out. Here is the science. Researchers studying nonverbal dominance cues have found that open, expansive posture is linked to measurable shifts in cortisol and testosterone. Not huge, but real. Lower stress hormone. Slightly elevated confidence hormone. And here is the cool part. This isn't about faking a power pose for 2 minutes backstage. It's about how you sit when nobody's coaching you. Think of it like a house with the shades wide open versus one with the blinds drawn. Same house. Completely different signal to everyone walking past. Respected people let their posture say nothing needs to be proven. That's it. No performance required. Try this with me right now. Uncross your arms. Drop your shoulders back down from your ears. That is the whole habit. Habit 3 takes this even further, and it is the one that changes everything about how people interrupt you. Number 3, the ask that has no hidden apology in it. Nobody is going to tell you this directly, so I will. Sorry, could I maybe possibly get? That sentence has 4 hedges before it even gets to the actual request. Sorry, could, maybe, possibly. By the time the ask arrives, it's buried under so much apology that it barely sounds like a request at all. It sounds like a question the person is hoping you'll say no to. I used to talk like that. Every ask wrapped in 3 layers of padding, just in case the answer was no and I needed somewhere soft to land. Here's the thing. That padding doesn't protect you. It just tells the other person your own request isn't worth much. Robert Cialdini's research on influence and clarity found something simple but easy to miss. Directness itself increases compliance. Not aggression, not demands, just plain, unhedged language. People comply more and rate the requester as more confident when the ask has no apology built into its structure. Plain language reads as certainty. Certainty gets taken seriously. Most people wrap requests in apology, so rejection won't hurt less. Respected people ask plainly because plain asks get taken seriously in the first place. Try this right now. Next time you need something, cut the sorry and the maybe. Just ask. That is the whole shift. That was about what you asked for. But there is something even more powerful, what you refuse to explain. Number 4, the explanation you don't owe. I want you to think about the last time you turned down an invite. Not the decline itself. The 3 sentences that came after it. I can't make it. I've just got so much going on this week, and honestly I'm exhausted. And also I have that thing on Saturday. Nobody asked for 3 reasons. You gave 3 anyway. I used to do this constantly. One reason never felt like enough, so I'd stack them. Like extra reasons were extra proof I wasn't a bad person for saying no. Here is what nobody tells you. That stacking doesn't make the no more acceptable. It makes it look shakier. There's a concept in psychology called the overjustification effect, and while it usually gets applied to motivation, the underlying mechanic shows up here too. Piling on explanations for a decision actually signals less confidence in that decision, not more. The listener's brain picks up on the excess. Too many reasons reads as a person still convincing themselves. Most people over-explain to avoid judgment. Respected people give 1 sentence and let it stand. Think of it like a receipt. 1-line item is a fact. 10-line items looks like someone trying to justify the total. Try this with me right now. Next decline, give 1 honest sentence. Then stop talking. That is it. Just stop. But here is the thing nobody asks. What happens to the way people talk about you when you're not in the room? Number 5. The compliment you never go fishing for. Have you ever noticed how some people make a joke that's really just a trap? Guess I look terrible in this shirt, huh? Yeah, that presentation was probably a mess. Said with a laugh, but everyone in the room knows what's actually being asked for. Reassure me. Please. I used to do this constantly, and it never once made me feel better. It just meant the good feeling I got depended on someone else showing up with the right line at the right moment. Big mistake. Huge. Here is what nobody tells you. The insecurity you're trying to hide by fishing is the exact thing the fishing reveals. There's a well-documented psychological pattern called the spotlight effect, the finding that people wildly overestimate how much others notice their flaws. Most people aren't clocking your shirt or your presentation at all. They're thinking about their own. But the moment you fish for reassurance out loud, you hand them a spotlight and point it directly at the thing you were hoping they'd miss. Most people seek validation out loud. Respected people let their work and behavior speak and say nothing. Think of it like a magician explaining the trick mid-performance. The explanation is what ruins it. Silence would have sold it. Try this right now. Next time you catch yourself starting a self-deprecating joke, just stop the sentence. Let the moment stand on its own. What I am about to show you in Habit 6 is going to feel wrong at first, because it breaks a rule you were taught since childhood. Number 6. The word that ends guilt on contact. This is the one. Picture this. Someone asks you for a favor you don't have room for. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts drafting an excuse before you've even decided what you want to say. And then, out of pure habit, yes leaves your mouth before your brain even signs off on it. That tightness has a name. Researchers studying boundary setting have tracked real cortisol spikes in the moment right before someone says no. The body treats disappointing another person like a small threat. Here's the cool part, though. That spike is brief. It passes in seconds. What doesn't pass, what actually compounds over months and years, is the anxiety that builds every single time you say yes just to avoid those seconds. Most people say yes to avoid a few seconds of discomfort. Respected people say no and let the discomfort pass through them instead of around them. This is not about being difficult. It is about no longer needing permission to protect your time. Think of it like a toll booth. Pay the small toll now, a few uncomfortable seconds, or pay a much bigger one later, for years, in resentment you never signed up for. Try this right now. Say the word no out loud, alone, right now. Just the word. Notice how foreign it feels. That is exactly what you do not want to keep feeling. Habit 7 takes this even further, and it is the one people remember you for. Number 7. The exit that sets the tone. Picture this. A conversation has already run past its natural end. You can feel it. The energy dipped 2 minutes ago, but nobody said anything. So it just keeps limping forward, both people quietly waiting for the other to call it. Then someone does something different. Warm smile, quick, genuine line. Great catching up with you. And they're gone. On their terms. While the moment still had some life left in it. I used to be the one who waited. Always. Standing there hoping the other person would end it first, so I wouldn't have to be the one who left. Here is the thing nobody tells you. Waiting to be released isn't politeness. It's a small transfer of control, every single time, to whoever leaves first. There's research on the brain's threat response, the amygdala reacting to social separation almost like it reacts to physical danger. That's why endings feel loaded. But here's the cool part. When someone ends things warmly and on their own timing, they're not remembered as cold. They're remembered as composed. The warmth is what makes the timing land as generous instead of dismissive. Most people wait to be released from a conversation. Respected people end it while it's still good and walk away first. Try this right now. Next conversation, notice the peak. Then leave one line before it fades. That is it. That was about moments. But there is something even bigger, what all 7 of these habits actually add up to. Here is what nobody tells you about all 7 of these. They were never tricks. Not one of them. A trick is something you perform and then drop the second you're tired or distracted or comfortable again. These are not that. Silence, posture, plain asks, one-sentence declines, saying no, staying quiet instead of fishing, walking away first. String them together and they stop being techniques. They become the way you actually move through a room. That's the real shift. This is not about what you do. It is about who you are becoming. You don't need all 7 this week. You need 1. Start here. Say no once, this week, with no excuse attached. Just the word and a sentence and nothing else. Then pay attention. Notice who starts treating you differently first. It won't be everyone. It'll be someone, and that's the whole proof you need. Comment which habit you're starting with first, and I'll reply with which one to layer in next. And if any of this landed, subscribe. Every week, I break down one hidden psychological pattern that separates people who are liked from people who are respected. Those are not the same thing. Most people spend their whole lives optimizing for the wrong one.